In the heart of a bustling city block, nestled between towering skyscrapers and busy streets, lay an abandoned lot. It had once been a vibrant garden, a place where children ran through rows of sunflowers and neighbors exchanged smiles over shared harvests. But over the years, the garden had withered away, leaving only a forgotten patch of cracked concrete and weeds. Graffiti covered the walls, trash scattered the grounds, and the lot became a symbol of neglect in a neighborhood that had seen better days. But as the seasons changed, so too did the hearts of the people who lived around it. It all started when Emma, a young artist new to the city, took a walk one afternoon and found herself standing in front of the overgrown lot. She had always dreamed of creating something beautiful, something that brought people together. As she gazed at the space, she felt a spark of inspiration. What if this could be something more? What if we could bring life back to this place, she thought. The idea grew in her mind until she could no longer ignore it. She posted a message on the local community board. Would anyone be interested in helping to create a community garden in the neglected lot on 5th and Oak? Let's make it our own. At first, there was silence. No one responded. Emma walked away discouraged, but the idea refused to leave her. A few days later, as if by fate, a single reply appeared on the message board. I'm in. Let's make it happen. It was from Jake, a middle-aged mechanic who lived just down the street. Emma had never spoken to him, but she recognized his face from around the block. Their first meeting was small, just the two of them standing by the rundown lot, discussing their dreams for the space. They agreed that it wasn't just about planting flowers or vegetables. It was about reviving a sense of connection, a place where everyone could come together. I've lived here for 20 years, Jake said, his voice thick with the weight of years in the neighborhood. But I don't really know anyone anymore. Not like we used to. I think we can change that, Emma said. The next day, they printed flyers and knocked on doors. To their surprise, people began to show interest. First came Marissa, a retired schoolteacher who was passionate about sustainability, then Carlos, a young college student eager to learn about gardening. By the end of the week, they had a group of 6 strangers who had come together with the shared goal of transforming the neglected lot. The first day of work was tough. The ground was hard, the weeds stubborn, and the trash overwhelming. But each person brought their own strengths. Marissa shared tips about soil health. Carlos taught everyone how to plant seeds properly, and Jake, with his experience in tools, helped build raised beds. Emma painted signs that read, "Welcome to the Garden of Hope." As the days turned into weeks, the group began to see their efforts take shape. The concrete was replaced by garden beds filled with fresh soil, flowers began to bloom, and rows of vegetables started to sprout. The neighborhood began to notice. One evening, as the sun began to set, an elderly woman named Mrs. Turner, who had lived in the block for decades, approached the garden. She had never spoken to any of the volunteers before, but the sight of the garden moved her. "You kids are doing something good here," she said softly. "We used to have something like this, a long time ago." Her words were the first of many. Slowly, more and more neighbors began to stop by. Some brought their own gardening tools, others offered to cook meals for the volunteers, and a few simply came to watch and chat. The lot, once a symbol of decay, was now alive with the hum of conversations and laughter. The garden had become a gathering place, a beacon of hope in a forgotten part of the city. As the months passed, the garden flourished. Vegetables were harvested and shared with the community. Children who had never met their neighbors now played together in the new green space. The sense of isolation that had once marked the area faded, replaced by a spirit of cooperation and unity. One evening, as the sun dipped low and the group sat around a table in the garden, eating fresh tomatoes and herbs they'd grown themselves, Emma looked around at the faces of her newfound friends. "We did it," she said softly. "Look at what we've built." Yeah, it's more than a garden. It's a reminder that we can still come together, even in a place that felt lost. The garden was more than just a physical space. It had brought people back together, creating bonds that were stronger than the concrete and weeds that had once stood in the way. It had shown them that no matter how neglected a place may seem, with patience, trust, and a little bit of faith, anything could be transformed. And as the seasons changed, the garden continued to grow, a symbol of resilience, unity, and the power of people coming together to create something beautiful from nothing. The lot that had once been forgotten was now a thriving oasis, a living testament to what happens when strangers come together for a common cause, planting seeds of change that would bloom for years to come.